since Spider-Man No Way Home, fans have been clamoring for the return of Andrew Garfield as the Amazing Spider-Man. Of course, we want him back for like multiversal project, more future live-action Spider-Verse projects, but more importantly, we want to see more of this Spider-Man in his own timeline, in his own universe, specifically with The Amazing Spider-Man 3, the film we were robbed of, which actually, looking at their original plans for that film, I'm kind of glad we never got that. But now what they could do with that film, there's a lot of possibilities with The Amazing Spider-Man 3. And of course, if you've been on Twitter since the release of No Way Home, you know that hashtag MakeTasm3 has been trending quite a bit over the past couple of months. And this is something I fully support. If you've seen my videos since No Way Home, then you know that Andrew Garfield is my favorite Spider-Man, and I want The Amazing Spider-Man 3. But obviously I was hopeful, but I didn't think that we'd actually get, honestly, even a response from Sony. But we just did. We just got basically an official statement from Sony on hashtag MakeTasm3. Because as you can see right here, the official Sony account on Twitter just tweeted out, "The Amazing Peter number 3. Note, yes, we've seen the hashtag. No, we don't decide which movies get made. We're just the social team." So right there, fully understandable. It's just the social team. They have nothing to do with what movies get made and what movies don't. But they addressed it though, which again is something I did not expect. And because they do work for Sony, that clearly means that most likely the rest of Sony, most likely like the higher ups at Sony, and possibly even like Amy Pascal, like basically the heads of like Spider-Man at Sony, have probably seen it, have probably heard the fan reaction and the fan wishes for The Amazing Spider-Man 3. So I guess that's something. And really, they should do this. Again, I've made multiple videos about it since No Way Home about how and why they should do this, because it just makes so much sense. Because we need The Amazing Spider-Man. Sure, we have Tom Holland's Peter Parker Spider-Man for the MCU, but that's for the MCU. We have all these other Sony Spider-Man universe characters that are getting their own movies, like Venom and Morbius and soon to be Kraven the Hunter and Madam Web and Spider-Woman. So we need a Spider-Man of that universe. We want a Spider-Man to go up against Morbius, go up against Kraven, go up against Venom. And Andrew Garfield could be that Spider-Man. There's already been clues in the Morbius trailers and in the Venom movies and all that stuff that possibly they could already be in the same universe. But it just makes sense for where the story could go from here, especially with things sounding like Venom 3 is going to be seeing Venom versus Spider-Man. And we did see Venom in the MCU in No Way Home, but then he went back to his original universe. Now that he knows about Spider-Man, he's going to be going to look for Spider-Man. Well, what if in his universe he goes to look for Spider-Man and he finds Andrew Garfield is the Spider-Man of that universe? That is something that totally makes sense right there. And plus, in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, in the Oscorp files, we had references to Venom. We had references to Dr. Michael Morbius. So, it makes sense. Plus, there's so many loose threads left hanging with this character. Because this is the one thing that I'd be wondering about is, if they do this, if they give us The Amazing Spider-Man 3, would it be taking place right after his appearance in No Way Home? Or would it be taking place right after The Amazing Spider-Man 2? Because, of course, after The Amazing Spider-Man 2, he's dealing with the loss of Gwen Stacy. Now, if it's after No Way Home, obviously some time has passed, but still, he's not over her death. So you can really do, honestly, a darker Spider-Man movie where he is dealing with grief and even mentioned, like, I stopped pulling my punches, hinting at the fact that maybe he even murdered someone, which would be absolutely insane. And this also would make him vulnerable to the Venom symbiote, which would be a great storyline to tackle with this character. And you can bring in other characters from that universe, you know, tie up loose ends with possibly the Sinister Six that was being set up there, and Dane DeHaan's Green Goblin, Felicity Jones, Felicia Hardy that was introduced in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. She could become the Black Cat. We've also got Mary Jane, who was in some deleted scenes for The Amazing Spider-Man 2, never appeared in the movie. Well, now she could. And there's just all these different things that you could do with this film. And again, speaking of the multiverse and Spider-Verse, we also have Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy, who did die in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But wouldn't it be so cool, especially if this film takes place after his appearance in No Way Home, now that he knows about the multiverse and the Spider-Verse and everything, what if maybe another Spider-Man comes to his universe, and that Spider-Man that comes to his universe is an alternate universe Gwen Stacy as Spider-Gwen. That would be awesome. Again, I've made multiple videos on that as well. But that would be awesome to see, just to see that, especially him still dealing with the loss of the love of his life. And then it could be kind of a mirroring effect with her, where she just lost her best friend Peter Parker in her universe as well. So there's just so much that they can do with this. We know Andrew Garfield is really passionate about the character. We know Andrew Garfield is such an amazing actor. I mean, he's literally nominated for best actor at the Oscars this year for Tick, Tick, Boom. Great movie, by the way. I 100% hope he wins. He fully deserves to win, because Andrew Garfield is an amazing actor. I believe he actually won Best Actor in a superhero movie at like some sort of fan choice awards, and he was literally in the movie for like 5-10 minutes, and he won Best Actor in a superhero movie from all of last year, over Tom Holland, who is literally the star of the film, who also gave a great performance as well. But Andrew Garfield is where it's at. You know, this is the Spider-Man that it's his time to shine. You know, when his movies were coming out, he was the most hated Spider-Man, and he has been for years. But over the past year or so, the love for this character and this version of Peter Parker Spider-Man has resurged. And now would be really the perfect time to bring back this character and explore his story even deeper and further. Because again, you know, the Amazing Spider-Man trilogy definitely has some problems. Those are probably the weaker Spider-Man films. But some of my favorite parts about those movies are just Andrew Garfield and his version of Peter Parker Spider-Man. This more nerdy, awkward, science-y version of Spider-Man was awesome to see. And obviously Gwen is dead, but you know, Gwen was also one of my favorite parts of those films as well. But again, you could bring in Mary Jane and explore that whole story, how maybe he's moving on by now, moving on to her. There's just so much that could be done here that I want to see, and this could be the connecting thread. Like, sure, you could bring in some other Spider-Man, like a Miles Morales, to be the Spider-Man of this universe with Venom and Kraven and Morbius and everything. That would be cool as well. Or you could bring back Andrew Garfield and explore his universe and fully tap into that potential. That's the word. Because there's so much just waiting there to happen, and I'm just hoping that Sony sees that and that they actually take action to utilize that, because there's so much that can be done with Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. What do you think about the idea of the return of Andrew Garfield as the Amazing Spider-Man? Whether that's just for some cameo roles and just supporting roles in future Spider-Man Cinematic Universe movies, or Sony Pictures Universe of Marvel character movies, whatever they're calling that universe now. Or do you want the Amazing Spider-Man 3? Do you want them both? What do you want to happen here? And what do you think about just the fact that the actual Sony social team responded to this and actually acknowledged that, hey, this is a thing. We can't do anything about it, but we acknowledge that it is actually in existence. So honestly, I think this is awesome, and I really do hope that we get to see the Amazing Spider-Man return, whether it is just for TASM 3 or whether it is just for a supporting role in the new Spider-Man universe. But either way, Andrew Garfield's amazing. He's my favorite Spider-Man, and I want to see him back. Again, you can let me know all your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep it up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.